We are now going to do a report that is a little more difficult than what we've tried in the past. We're going to do a report on screening colonoscopies, and this is going to require us to find people who were seen during a particular year, we'll choose 2014, who are of a particular age during that year, which is going to be 51 to 75, and who have had a colonoscopy within the previous 10 years. We'll start back at 2005 for this. So we've got a number of different parameters that we have to deal with and a number of different tables. And so the approach to this is a little more complicated. Let's demonstrate how it goes. So first of all, we're going to go to our ODBC database. We'll import all the information to this data set, and we will use our Faircom driver to do this. This calls up our PP brief list. We are going to use vital signs table and use the vital signs to help us identify a date of a visit. We're going to use patient identifiers as we always do, and we're going to use the problem list to look for colonoscopies. So we're going to pull in those three tables from the practice, and this is unedited versions. Every element, every patient in our system is going to pull into the database right now. From there, we are going to develop some queries that help us to winnow things down. So we'll go to Query Design, and we're going to use patient identifiers and vital signs initially. And we will link these two tables with patient ID, as we always do. We're going to look for date of birth. We are also going to look for the patient's first name and account ID to help us identify the patient. And then we are then going to use the date of vital to identify the date of the visit, and the vital's name and the vital's result. And we'll also put in the patient ID again so that we can use it later for the work that we do. Now with date of birth, rather complicated thing, but we're looking for people whose date of birth was 51 years to 75 years before January 1st, 2014. And recall that we were using these numbers to to indicate dates. And so, although you can use the tables that I provided to you, basically we are going to say that we are looking for numbers that are greater than or equal to 32507, that's age 75, and less than or equal to 41274, which is age 51. Names, we want everyone. Account ID, we want everyone. The date of the vital, we are looking for the calendar year 2014, and so that is going to be greater than or equal to 59901 and less than 60266. That's January 1st, 2015. The vital's name is systolic. The vital's result is going to be greater than 10. And we'll want all the patient ID in there. So we'll see if this works. We'll give it a run here and see how it looks. And this gives us a total of 565 patients with visits. But keep in mind that this is also going to count more than once people who have been in the office more than once. So that is another issue that we have to deal with regard to this. Let me just see if we sort here, if we can make that point. So you can see that some of these patients have been in more than once, and so we're going to need to deal with that as we develop this report. Nonetheless, I think we're at a point where we can probably save this, and we'll name it Age at Visit and save it. Next, we are going to develop another query to winnow down that problem list. Remember that the problem list contained everything, all problems. And so what we're going to want to do is be pretty selective with that. We'll use the patient ID again because we're going to want to link these. And the date CLIN list, so we're going to want to get colonoscopies in the past 10 years, roughly. And then we're going to go for CLIN list name. There it is. And CLIN list type. That should about do us. And so what we're looking for, CLIN list name, we're looking for colonoscopy. CLIN list type, we're looking for procedures. And the date, we're going to look for 2005, which is 56613, so greater than or equal to 56613, and less than or equal to 2015, 60266. All right, so again, we will give this a run and look at what it looks like. And what we're ending up with is 768 colonoscopies. These are colonoscopies done in the past 10 years on all comers, people in all age groups, not just our little group of patients. And we don't need to save procedure. We don't even need to save the date because we know we've got the right date. We are going to want the patient ID so we can link it and the colonoscopy indicator. And so we will save this as colonoscopies. All right, so now we've got a list with patients listed more than once because they may have been in more than once during the year. And we've got a list of colonoscopies that may include people who are not in our roster that we're looking for. So we are now going to do a query of queries. We are going to link them by patient ID. And since we want everybody in this list and not everybody in this list, we're going to have to manipulate this link here. And so we will look at the join properties. We want all records from the age at visit and only those records from colonoscopies where the join fields are the same. In other words, in which they're also in the age at visit. So that is the kind of link we're going to want. And we'll convert it to that. And then what we're going to want to display is basically the patient's first name, their account ID. We don't need anything else because we've already filtered this down to who we want. And then the CLIN list name here. That is it. Now, this is going to continue to give us a big number. And let's run it just to show it. And we're going to end up with 673 people, some of whom have had colonoscopy, some of whom had not. But they're going to sometimes be in here more than once if they've had more than one visit. And so if we use the totals button on Access and group by name and account ID, then we are going to get a more manageable number of 446. And we are then able to sort right here and get a sense as to what our success rate is by just looking at these raw numbers on this roster. We have the ability to, in addition, use this query to build a report, but this will tell us that 198 of our 446 patients in the age group in the time period have not had a colonoscopy. That is a fail rate of 44%. And this would be the list of people we try to reach out to. As you could see, as we were building these queries, it would be possible for us to list the first name, the last name, the address, and do a mail merge, or the email address, or the phone number, so we could conduct outreach. And as I said before, we could also build a report from this. Finally, you may want to run this report over and over again, and you certainly don't want to go through all of this work each time. And so the way to do this is to save the report, save the database, and then when you run it the next time, simply go in, delete all the information in these three tables, just highlight delete very quick, and then re-import the information to these 3 tables, and you'll be off to the races in a few minutes because the queries will preserve and the report will run. Thank you.